What's it mean to be a heart-based entrepreneur? What does it mean to be this industry expert that's driven by these values? And what do you actually need to create the maximum impact with your message, with your business as a heart-based entrepreneur? My name is Jon Cook, and I'm the founder of Keynote Content. Over the last 4 years, I've worked with over 1,100 different speakers, coaches, consultants, industry experts, nonprofit leaders who have a message that they know that can change the world and saying, I don't know how to get that out into the world. So I worked with them, helping them craft and share that message and grow their business and their impact. And so you might be familiar with this term of heart-based entrepreneur or heart-driven. So I love the idea of heart-driven because saying, okay, it's not just heart-based, but it's actually that forward movement of values that are important to you. Values that are like integrity, loyalty, honesty, making a difference, this altruistic experience. And so how do you take this heart-driven kind of value that's pushing you forward, your business, your organization, whatever it might be, and making a difference with your message? So what I want you to visualize is that there are actually 3 different circles inside this Venn diagram. So pardon my artistic, if you're watching this, like pardon my artistic, I tried to do this Venn diagram. Think of 3 circles overlapping, like one overlapping point right in the middle. This first part we're starting with is, of course, the why. You're probably very familiar with Simon Sinek's Start With Why. And that's the big part that I see that many people say, I have this heart driven, I know what it really fires me up, why I'm excited, why I started this in the first place. And so I call that your manifesto part. And that's just a part that I use inside our 3-part framework called the Expert Message Method. Is we start with your manifesto. And it's not necessarily a written manifesto, but it's saying what are those beliefs that you can articulate where you say, I know this is what drives me forward. I know that creating space for all voices to be heard, that's a value. I know that doing things the right way the first time, that's a value. I know that this is the only planet that we can live on, so let's make sure that we're taking care of this planet right now, not regretting and wishing that we had in the future. Whatever that driver is, those values, they are important to you, saying that is your why. Now from there, it comes into this next part, which I call kind of the who. Not the band, but the who, as far as like who you want to serve. I call that your market. And that market is not just the people who say, oh, anybody can be my client. No, it's specifically saying who are the exact people in this group, and niching down, or niching down if you want to use that term, whatever, niching down into find out what is that group of people that I know I can get amazing results. I know what their questions are. I know what their thoughts are. I know what their actions are. So I know what they're thinking, feeling, doing, and what I would love for them to think and feel and do to help us get the results that they need with what I can offer to them. Then we come into this third part here, which is your message. And I call this kind of a combination of your how and your what, because it's not just what you're saying, but also how you say what you are saying. And this continues to look at saying, okay, how you talk about what's important to your audience, saying you're using some of the same language or communication that they're sharing on survey results and on emails back to you, in sales presentations, in Q&A sessions. You're using those same language to help create content for your audience to say, yes, that sounds exactly like what I'm going through. It is because I've taken the time to actively listen to prospects or clients to know here's exactly what you can do with your message. So you have these 3 areas, and they're overlapping there, and right in the middle is what I call, again, your expert message method, your EMM, as it were. You have your manifesto, market, message. But where do heart-driven entrepreneurs really get stuck? They get stuck when they eliminate or they underdevelop one of these 3 areas. So if we were to take out and we say like, hey, if we got rid of just the message side of things, saying like, oh, I don't want to worry about my website, I don't want to worry about a podcast or social media, it starts to take out the message part of thing. It means that you don't have a message that's actually going out and connecting with people. People say, I want to be a thought leader in the industry. I'm going, you can't lead thoughts if you don't share your own thoughts. You can't be an industry expert if people don't know about your expertise. But there's another part. Let's start with this here. We say, okay, people who come in and say like, I know who I want to serve and I know what I'm saying to them. It's going, yes, but why does it matter? If you don't give the story, if you don't give kind of that origin story or the why, the purpose behind why you want to help these people and what you're saying, it's not going to carry the weight and significance. Simply saying, in a term I keep hearing over and over again, it's like, your message matters. Nobody's debating that your message matters. The thing is, people don't know that your message matters, and that person that might not know that your message matters might even be yourself. You might be in this part where saying, I'm not even tied in with knowing why I do what I do. I started this business and I know that I'm doing a podcast and I know I'm doing YouTube videos. I know I'm doing blogging and I'm doing Facebook ads. I'm doing all these different things, but really tying into, do you really have it dialed in why you do what you do? Unless you have it truly dialed in saying like, this is what my drivers are. This is what gets me fired up, what gets me out of bed in the morning, what gets me on the plane or on those calls, whatever it might be, connecting with the people. Unless you can clearly articulate why you do what you do, your market and your message will continue to suffer because it's out of balance. It's out of whack. But if we come to saying, okay, I know why I do what I do, and I know I'm sharing this message, cool, but who is it for? Unless you focus and you say, here is exactly who it's for, here is what's important to them, then this just becomes a glorified diary. You need to know who are the people that you want to serve. You need to know exactly what's keeping them up at night. You need to know what their goals are. You need to know what the challenges that they're facing and why it is absolutely unfair that they should continue to face and suffer through that challenge or that problem and not have it resolved. You need to have kind of this growing angst inside of you to saying, I see injustice in the world. I see injustice with that my audience is facing, and that I know I can help deliver them, help show them the way out of that so that they can take the step forward in their life, their finances, their parenting, whatever it might be. Unless we are dialed in saying, I'm serving people first, then your business is just a glorified diary. It's just your way of saying, it's a selfish way of approaching it. Just saying, if it's all about me, then I might as well go out of business. I need to make it about others first, about the people that I want to serve, so that I can show them, here's why it matters. Not just matters to me, but matters to them. And here's how I'm talking about it. So if we come back to here, this third part, we're saying, if we have the manifesto dialed in, we know exactly who it's for, but we're not sure what to say or how to say it, this is actually the easiest one to resolve. The manifesto part, it may surprise you, is that I believe the manifesto part can be some of the hardest to develop because it takes a lot of depth work, and it's not about business. It's not even about your market just yet. It's about saying, what is driving you to start this business? What is driving you to continue this business or this nonprofit or whatever it might be? And then saying, dialing in your market, I feel is maybe the second hardest. And the third hardest, which I would say the easiest, since we have three, is your message. On the message side of things, saying, I know that I have something I want to share to the world. I know it's for this group. I don't know how to get that message out. Do I start a blog? Do I do podcasting? Do I start a YouTube channel? Do I speak on stages? Do I get on more podcasts? Do I do a webinar? Do I do a challenge or quiz? Whew. If that sounds stressful and exhausting, guess what? It is stressful and exhausting to navigate all that together. The good news is that you don't have to figure it out on your own. You can go to workwithjoncook.com, fill out a form, hop on a call with me. We'll talk about your business. We'll talk about what's driving you. What are your values? What are those things that are important to you that help you move forward with your business, with your message? And say, let's figure out how to get that articulated in the best way possible so your audience says, yes, that's for me. I know that you care about me. I know why you do what you do. And I know how you can help me take the step forward through your business. But as you're looking at this, you're saying, I know I've got these two dialed in, but I don't even know where to start. Do I do a quiz? Do I do a challenge? I was just talking with somebody, she's a coach in Canada, in the Toronto area. I was just talking with her yesterday evening, and she was saying, John, I don't know if I do a quiz or do I do a challenge? Do I do both? Whatnot? I'm going, in the beautiful ways in which we have this digital world that we live in right now, saying you can do a podcast, you can do YouTube, you can do LinkedIn, you can do Facebook, you can be active on Twitter, you can do blogging, you can do speaking on stages, you can do like webinars, you can do quizzes, challenges, all these different things. And the good part is that pick one, try it out. Just sprint on it for 30 days, get the quiz built out, get the emails built out, get out the tech in, saying if I can get this up 30 days so I have something up, and testing it, seeing how it performs, and saying, okay, well, what if I want to do a challenge? Okay, get the challenge up first and then work on the quiz. The good news is that you don't have to get locked into anything for longer than you want to. You're saying, try a challenge. It was awful from a fulfillment standpoint. I didn't love doing the videos. I didn't like that it was, okay, then you don't have to do a challenge. You can do a webinar. You can do a blog. You can look at all these different other elements. People say, well, blogs don't work. Well, webinars don't work. Quizzes don't work. Challenges are oversaturated. I have seen all of those work for clients this month, right here. Find what is interesting to you. Find a way in which it's interesting to your audience, and then sprint on it for 30 days, create that content, get it out there, share it with your audience, see how it performs. Now, you might say, like, oh my gosh, what if I don't want to waste my time? I get it. I understand. What you can do is you can send out a 1-question survey ahead of time, and it has just like 3 or 4 different answers. So like, hey, would you rather do a quiz with me, a challenge with me, listen to a podcast, or read some of my work, or read some of my writings? And the way that they respond will give you an indication. And you can give other different answers depending on what you're looking at. But also, there's an element that I want you to consider beyond this, is that there are actually 4 different content types. You have live content, what I call like kind of your on-stage content. It's designed to be given in front of like a live audience. So it's like, hey, Facebook Lives, or it's YouTube Live, LinkedIn Live, it's a webinar that's given live, whatever it might be. It's live content. Or there's also the on microphone. So there's like, hey, audio content. So like flash briefings, or it's podcast content. You can have on-screen content, which is essentially you have written content. And then you have essentially on-camera content, where it's recorded content that is kind of on-demand. So you have some webinars are on-demand content. You have some videos that are uploaded to social media. Those are on-demand content. And people can click play at any point. It's just living there as evergreen content. If you're saying, I hate writing, you don't have to write. Get in front of a camera. You're saying, I don't like the way that I look on camera. Okay, do a podcast. I don't like the way that I sound. Okay, we can figure out other ways to help you get the content that you need, so your audience says, yes, I know the value that you bring. I know the heart-driven approach that you're taking, and I know that you care about connecting with me. And again, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, go to workwithjoncook.com, fill out a form, we'll book a call, hop on a call, and talk about where you're at with your message, where you're at with your manifesto, where you're at with your market, and how I can help you take the step forward that you need with your audience and make a difference with your message. If you like what you've seen so far, hit like, subscribe. Catch you next time. Take care.